All right, folks, what is going on? This is episode 306 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Changed a little bit around as far as the secondary camera. It just kind of got a little annoying with my setup, and I changed a few things over here. So I just thought it'd be better to do it this way. So welcome. If you're on the podcast side, maybe one day you'll watch on YouTube and see the type of setup I have. But if you're on those podcast avenues, welcome. And thank you for listening, and the listenership, it is going up. If you're on YouTube or Rumble, thank you guys as well. I really appreciate all the support and the feedback I'm getting. Get a good bit of feedback on this on the podcast lately. It's really, really cool. 300 episodes in, and we're going to keep on moving. Today, we're going to talk about some Atlanta Falcons free agency. We all know all the things that have been happening so far throughout the country, or the league, as far as the free agency and all the teams who have been signing or who intend to sign and all this other stuff. This is the part of the season where it gets really good as far as who moves where. And there's a lot of speculation and a lot of emotions, getting attached to a lot of this stuff. First and foremost, with poised, people got emotionally attached to that once they found out he was going to the Jaguars. Also, with the whole situation with Matt, I think it was Matt Olson being traded to the Braves. I don't even talk about the Braves like that, but that was writing on the wall that Freddie Freeman is not going to be a Brave anymore, and a lot of people got in their feelings about that, not knowing that Olson is a good first baseman. So it's just the business of this, and we're going to talk about mostly just the football side of things, but it just happens in sports. It's just the way it is. If this is your first time here, welcome to the First and Frame Rate Show. I'm VF Ball. Over here we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football for the most part. Everything under that umbrella as well. If you don't mind, if you want to hit the like button. If you're watching on the YouTube or Rumble side, hit the like button, share this podcast, let people know what I'm doing over here, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you're on the podcast side of things, subscribe, hit that that button to subscribe, and hit the auto download. So once these episodes up, it'll automatically download to whatever device you're listening to, and you'll be set to listen to the episode whenever. Also, if you don't mind, if you want to donate, all the links are down in the description. It helps grow the podcast, and it helps continue this podcast to keep rolling the way it does. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. Free agency started. Falcons didn't do much. First and foremost, what they did do, we already talked about the whole situation with Matt Ryan being extended, and we also now we found out that Foye Oluokun is going to be moving on to the Jaguars, so we're not going to be signing him. He's getting paid pretty good, though. He's getting paid at least $28 million guaranteed. That's a little bit more expensive than what we were able to, pretty much, afford. I think he's getting like $15 million a year or something like that. I usually look at overthecap.com, and they do a pretty good job at most of the stuff. Yeah, his annual salary is $15 a year, $28 million guaranteed. So a shout out to him. He's going to be looking pretty sweet as far as being in the money. He deserved it. Played very well. And you look at Jake Matthews. Jake Matthews did extend his contract. He's getting about $18 million a year now, but it helps with the cap relief for the Falcons. They're going to get more cap space. I don't know what it is going to be now, but I think right now they're still at $16 million. And I told you yesterday that I could see this moving up to maybe 23, 24 mil by, the time, it's really time to sign players the way the Falcons want to. What do I have to say about these two? Not much. I think the Falcons are basically just playing it smart. They're just playing the smart game. They're doing what they have to do to just maintain the fiscal side of things, as well as getting talent. You don't want to break the bank by bringing somebody in that's actually going to handicap your cap space. But at the same time, you want to get some players here that's fairly affordable. You may have to spend a little bit more to get them in here, but they're going to give you that value to where you can get more out of not only just the money you spend, but as far as production as well. You want guys that's here that can be content with their contract and want to play ball. And I think that's one of the main things you want to deal with. Another thing that has happened, I think Matt Gano is going to be leaving as well. I think he signed with the Giants. I'm not 100% sure. But like I said, I like to look at overthecap.com. They do a pretty good job with numbers. And based on what it says on overthecap.com, Matt Gano could be moving on to the Giants. So that's one less lineman that we have now. But I think with the lineman we signed with Jake Matthews, I think this is a really good, solid re-sign or restructure or extension or whatever, which one you want to call it, because he's been like the most reliable guy on the line for a long time, and nobody really talks about him. And I guess that's a good thing. That's what they say, right? If nobody talks about you, if you're on an offensive line and nobody says your name, that means you're doing a good job. So there it is right there. As far as the rest of the team, we still got 30 people that aren't signed. You know what I mean? We still got 30 people that are not signed the contracts. I mean, you got guys like Isaiah Oliver, Fabian Monroe, Steven Means, AJ McCarron, Eric Harris, Tarjay Shaw. I mean, these are guys that are going into free agency. Young Wei Koo, who's a guy who we definitely need to sign. I mean, I'm a little bit biased because he is from Georgia Southern, but still, he should be signed. He's a restricted free agent, so that just helps. That will help us a little bit as far as signing him. Manuel Ellaby, Russell Gage, Zacchaeus, Sean Williams, Mike Pennell. I mean, it's a lot of them. Tarjay Shop, I think I said, is in Quadru Allison. There's a lot of guys that was on this team last year that are now going to be, they're going to be free agents. So with that being said, what do we do with that? Like I said, you got to pick and choose who of these guys. I didn't even mention Cordell Patterson. But what you have to do, you have to pick and choose who you're going to want to pick up and who's going to be an asset to the team. You might have to pick up some guys that are going to be some fillers or whatever the case may be. But that's just the way it goes. I think AJ McCarron is a quarterback that's out here. I want to say that Josh Rosen, yeah, he's another one. So we don't have a backup quarterback right now. So we're going to have somebody here that's going to back up Matt Ryan. Now, with that being said, this is a good possibility that they do draft the quarterback late in the draft. 5th, 6th round, they draft somebody. I would not be surprised because we don't have a quarterback behind Matt Ryan now based on what the free agency says. So it would not be out of the norm that this something like that happens. I don't see them. I'll be surprised if they re-sign either one of these guys. Felipe Franks is still on the roster. I will stay corrected. Felipe Franks is still on the roster as a backup. So, but I still could see them in a situation where they'll try to get another quarterback. I can see that very easily. Just the way things are going now, as far as quarterbacks and Matt Ryan's time, even though he's restructured his contract, he's going to be around for another 3 to 4 years. You still want to try to get somebody back there because I like Felipe Franks and maybe he can pull some things or whatever the case may be, but I'm not sure. Hayden Hurst is another one that is a free agent. I mean, what's going to happen there? And one thing I don't like about doing this, and I was about to go down that road. I don't want to go down the road to being just speculative. I don't like talking in speculative terms where, oh, what's going to happen here? What's going to happen there? Well, I'll give you my opinion of who I think may fill in and may do pretty well. But I don't like to be in speculative saying, oh, the Falcons will do this or I think they should do that. No, I think that you got some guys that's in front of you that you could just talk about and just give your opinion about them. I feel that the Falcons can do a very good job with what they've done so far. I think they could do a very good job going forward with it. They already got, I feel that with this restructure, we might have a situation, and I don't want to guess, but we got a significant amount of cap space to make some moves. I mean, I've heard people talk about bringing in, what's his name? Allen Robinson, the receiver from the Bears, Juju Smith-Schuster, Chandler Jones at edge rush. I've heard a lot of that stuff being thrown around. I don't want to speculate on what the Falcons can, what they will do, but I will say based on what I've seen right now, they're basically playing it smart. they're playing it real smart. They're just trying to get some money to be under the cap, and they're going to try to make some moves. Just because you didn't hear nothing on the first day of free agency doesn't mean that this is going to happen. I just think that when the right time is there, is going to make a splash. And I do also believe that a lot of these guys that are free agents right now, I think they're going to be signed. A lot of these guys. I hope Cordell Patterson is one of them. He's been a really big asset for the team, and he wants to be here. But there's already talking saying that he may not be, and I can give you a few reasons why. There's a situation where you basically have a situation where that he's 31, and he may want more money than we think. All it takes is one other suitor that said they want his needs, and they need him, and then the price for him to go up. The price for his value just goes up. So I'm not really sure if the Falcons really want to be in a situation where we have to bid against somebody. I think they're really, from the looks of things, they may be in a situation where, they're just going to have to pick somebody who is, basically willing to come in and play. Because, I mean, when you look at these other guys, there are other teams that are going to be shooting for them. And just to be smart, I don't think they will want to be in a situation where they have to, pretty much bid against another team. Because, I mean, I feel like if you're trying to be fiscally responsible, I feel like you may be wasting your time doing that, unless if it's somebody that you really, 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 really could use. I think Chandler Jones is one of those guys, really, because I think Chandler Jones. I think signing Chandler Jones will be better than any of these other guys that are in the draft as far as defensive linemen. I think Chandler Jones is that good, but will we go after him? I'm not sure. Not sure. I just know what I see compared to him and compared to other guys. That doesn't mean that the Falcons shouldn't get an edge rusher. No. Excuse me. I'm getting tired. No, I don't think that that's the case. I just think that I don't think any of these guys are just worth a top 10 pick. I don't think any of these edge rushers are worth a top 10. I believe that you can get a good edge rusher in the second, third, fourth round. And with that being said, you saw what the Raiders did with Max Crosby. I watched Max Crosby in college when he played against Georgia Southern Eagles. When he went to the draft, I was like, what is he thinking? Even though he was clearly the best player on that team against us in the Camellia Bowl, I was thinking, what is he thinking? He decided to go, he bet on himself, went in the fourth round. Now he's getting paid on his second contract. I mean, and he played very well. I mean, 25 sacks in his first 3 years. I mean, 25 sacks in the first 3 years, that was 7, almost 8 sacks a year. He has more sacks per year than what the Falcons did in all last year. I think we didn't have that many sacks. So it doesn't matter if you get a guy early in the draft like that or late, as long as you get one that can produce. So this whole notion about getting a pass rusher at 8 or whatever, yeah, I get it, but you got to understand, are these guys really worth that number 8 pick? I don't see anybody. I already told you who I like to pick. I want to see Ahmed Gardner from Cincinnati. But that's a whole nother rabbit hole that I can go down all day. I just feel really that the Falcons are doing a pretty good job so far. I think Terry Fontenot and them, with the restructuring of these 2 contracts, looking at Foye Oluokun saying, you know what, he's worth the money, but he's not worth the money that we're going to spend. So they just decided to say, hey, look, we're going to get up under this situation, let him go where he wants to go and make his money. Even though he led the league in tackles, I'm not really worried that he left. I think that we can get that production elsewhere. We just need to find the right person. I mean, he's from Yale. Nobody saw that coming. And that's one of the things. These type of players could come from anywhere. They don't have to be, a Georgia type of player or Alabama or, Ohio State or Michigan. It doesn't have to be any of those type of players. It could just be somebody who just like to play ball. I was all in on Nakobe Dean first, and I thought Nakobe Dean would be great next to Lil Khan and Deion Jones. But now I realize, look, I don't know who's going to be on the other side of that other side of the field. Maybe Isaiah Oliver, because he played pretty good. But Fabian Monroe, no. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm good. I think we should go ahead and get solidify the other side, let those boys ball, and we get a lot of coverage sacks because nobody's open. It kind of works both ways. But, I don't know. Like I said, I don't like to speculate, but I do like to conversate, but I don't like to speculate on this type of stuff because it's to me, I think it's a waste of time. I like to give thoughtful, opinions about these situations and I like to give you thoughtful reactions to some of this stuff. I think it's really healthy to have that. Now I know there's other people out here that does the speculative game, and I don't knock them. Some of those guys are great content creators. I just know my lane to where I don't try to be speculative. I'll put it like that. Some people just put it out there and just sometimes they just let you know straight up, like, what if this happened? What if that happens? No, I like to react to what has happened. And what has happened is we have Jake Matthews for you, Lil Khan gone, Matt Ganoa, according to over to cap.com, he's going to be gone. And I'm looking at these other players that are still here and people who we could use. I'm not even going to lie. We could use Tajay Sharp. We could use Hayden Hurst. We could use Cordell Patterson. I think I said Isaiah Oliver. I like Quadri Allison. He's a restricted free agent again, but he hasn't shown anything. Russell Gage is another one. I could see them trying to get him. I just feel like there's a lot of ways we can go as long as we continue to open up and get more cap relief. And I think that's one thing that this front office have done, and it works out pretty good for them. I'm here for this. And I think it's a pretty good, thing that they're doing, and it's a really big deal. I can't wait to see what else they do for the rest of the free agent period and going into the draft. I will be here covering it all. This pretty much concludes the rest of this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you want to support, hit the like button, subscribe or share. That helps. If you're watching, that helps. If you want to donate, all the links are down in the description. That helps as well if you really like the content and want to support. Once again, I'm on Anchor, Spotify, Stitcher, I think Anchor, Spotify, Stitcher, Apple, and Google. Trying to expand some more. Hopefully I'll try to get on iHeartRadio, but I'm not big time like that, I don't think. But maybe, one day I will be. But it all comes from you guys. If you guys are willing to spread the word and continue to watch and continue to have the consistency to support, it'll get there. And it'll be all thanks to you guys. I'm going to get up out of here. I'll see you guys on the next one, to episode 307. And we'll see what we talk about on the next day. You guys enjoy the rest of y'all Tuesday. Y'all guys take it easy. Y'all guys be blessed. Peace.